Welcome to the show. We're previewing the Nations League games with Romania and Norway. Here's what's coming up. We've got it all. We're going to be speaking to Gareth McAuley, catching up with Liam Donnelly. We're hearing from Northern Ireland's biggest fan, a comedian I've never heard of called Dave Elliott. And also Keith Cruz has his unique tips for beating Romania. If you like that, you're going to love this. I caught up with Liam Donnelly.
Liam, first of all, can I just say the beards are absolutely fantastic, but let me ask you this, over lockdown, has there been a bit of a trim? Because I feel like the beard used to be a bit wilder and now it's looking a little bit more trim.
Yeah, it's been trimmed recently a little bit. It was actually trimmed yesterday, so it was still a bit wild before that, and it definitely got a bit out of hand at stages over lockdown. But yes, a bit tidier than it has previously been.
Don't do yourself down. I think it looks good. And I was wondering, do you ever get comments during matches, like in the SPL, from opposition players? Like, has I don't know, James Forrest ever turned around to you and just been like, here, what do you do? Because as a guy who can't grow a beard, I'd be very keen to find out a little bit more.
Usually, to be fair, the comments are quite negative, and usually involve a few swear words after a 50-50 challenge. It's usually that instead of people complimenting it.
Nice. You're injured at the minute, unfortunately, so you're not able to link up with the squad. Being injured and being away from the group, do you still get involved in terms of like is there like a WhatsApp group you're in or that? What's the reality of being an injured player in the international scene?
Yeah, no, there is. There's a WhatsApp group. Obviously, the lads are still.
Put me in.
I was just still speaking. Obviously, they're with each other at the minute in the hotel. Still communicating through the group. I'm just seeing the messages pop up on my screen. To be honest, don't really have any involvement when I'm not there. But
who's the biggest nightmare in terms of just sending in too many WhatsApps? I mean, I love a WhatsApp group, but there's always someone in the group that just, passing on memes, copy and pasting jokes. Who's giving it too much?
There's a few to be fair that are in it quite. I'm sure it comes as no surprise that Josh McGuinness is quite vocal. And to be fair, Liam Boyce puts in a few decent little videos and that. He's found some way to copy and paste his own face on the game. That's quite funny. He does that. But I know your usual suspects, Kyle Lafferty, them three.
I'd say this would have been a great international camp, being Ian Barclough's first training camp, and you're the most capped under 21 player, most caps in Northern Ireland under 21 history. So you guys obviously have a good relationship. But can I ask, like, how well do you know him? Like, have you guys ever been bowling together or to the cinema or anything?
No, it hasn't gone that far. Been close to, but no, listen, it'd been nice to have obviously been involved in the squad on Ian's first first games with the squad. But no, listen, we do obviously have a good relationship. Known him a couple of years now. Obviously, everybody knows how well he done with the 21s in my last campaign with them. So listen, he obviously deserves his chance at the senior squad, and hopefully he does well.
What sort of, I guess when you're an under-21 manager, I mean, Northern Ireland fans know who he is, know the name, probably know a lot about the success of the under-21s, but for people who maybe, like myself, don't know his management style particularly well, what would you say he brings that sort of defines him as a manager?
I think the thing that stands out really, he's always had a good relationship with the players, been quite close with the players.
Not close enough to go bowling, but
not close enough to go bowling, but maybe a coffee date or that. Yeah. No, listen, he's a very good coach as well. He's very meticulous in like the build up to games and the opposition. Doesn't really leave any stone unturned. Gives you plenty of information about who you'll be coming up against. But sometimes I think you can sort of get one or the other. Possibly can have a good coach and maybe not so good on the relationship side of things with players, or sometimes you maybe have somebody who's got a great relationship with the players and maybe has a coaching or a couple of coaches that do most of the work for them. But I suppose in a way he's quite similar to how Michael was, that he does quite a lot of the work himself, as well as having a good relationship with the players. So, as was said, obviously a lot over the process of them finding a new manager. I'm sure the IFA, they said they wanted continuation. So there's been a lot of comparisons and a lot of things similar. But at the same time, I'm sure Ian will be looking forward to putting his own stamp on things.
I'm a recovering football manager addict. Like, I have played football manager, championship manager for many, many years. And 2 years ago, you did very, very well for me in my Barnsley team.
Right.
We got up to the Premiership, had you playing in front of the back four. You've moved position a wee bit, like, unless I've got this wrong. Like, I'm genuinely a huge Irish League fan, so didn't you move from Dungannon Swifts to Fulham? And I haven't researched this, is just genuine knowledge. You moved from Dungannon to Fulham, is that right?
Yeah, I did.
And then Fulham to Motherwell, but as a centre-back, and now you're playing centre-mid?
Yep.
So how is that just your position now, or can you see yourself going back to centre back?
Hopefully not.
Do you prefer centre midfield?
Yeah, I do. Enjoyed it, to be honest, being in there. Played a bit there every now and again when I was younger, but predominantly centre back or right back usually. Somewhere in the defensive line. But yeah, no, I've enjoyed it since I moved in there. Done quite well. Obviously, quite a good season last year. And yeah, first proper full season there last year, really, and really enjoyed it. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to stay in there. It's a bit more enjoyable, a bit more involved in the game, a bit further up the pitch than centre back. So yeah, hopefully I'll stay in there.
Well, I'm going to ask you this as my final question. Predictions for both of the games, Romania and Norway. I know footballers always, you want to win every match, of course, but would 6 points be achievable, do you think? Or is it a case of, if you took a draw and a win, would you be happy enough?
I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would be happy with 4 points, but there's absolutely no reason why 6 points isn't achievable. It'll be two difficult games, but absolutely no reason why we can't get a win from each of the games. I'm sure that's definitely the aim in the camp this week, and that's what they'll be set out looking to do.
Happy days, Liam. Thank you very much for taking the time to chat to me. Appreciate it. Hope you're back playing soon and back in the Northern Ireland squad. Thanks a million.
No problem. Thank you very much, Shane. Pleasure.
How do we make sure we beat Romania? We speak to a football expert. Now, there are some absolute legends joining us for this show, none bigger than the man himself, heartthrob Keith Cruz. Fly nets. Why have one keeper when you can have 11? Just have a last man jump in them. This is alright under UEFA rules as long as the last man shoots. I'm in them now, so yeah! Get the referee on side. You have to butter up a whistle, man. Best way to do this is with sweets. Just run a bit of kick-off with a wee packet in your pocket. Dealer's choice, really. Bonbons, laces, cola bottles, giant strawberries, whatever you want. My personal favourite used to be back in the day in local football games. I'd just run up the referee with whole cooked gammon. Listen to their tactics. If you hear them shout merge P jaws, that translates as hoof it, mate. Should I know what I'm talking about whenever I was at Chimney Corner Force? I spent the season on loan at Stowe Bucharest. What? Accessorise. Scientists at NASA have recently proved that if you as a footballer wear a wee pair of white ankle socks over your actual socks, you'd just be a well better player and do better mad skills and all. So the boys need to whack a few pairs of those on and you'll be hitting raboners from your own 6-yard box. Cruisey! Score more goals. Cruisey hasn't got to worry as a day in the game without knowing that statistically, if you score more goals than the opposition, chances are you're going to win the game. There's a whole section in my new book about it. My new book, Keith Cruz. There's no Iron team, but there is in Blaster. Time now to speak to two absolute legends who between them have 6.5 million caps.
It's Ian's job now to go into. We know how good a job Michael did and the structure he put in place and took the country to where it is now. And I think it's fantastic for Ian to come in now he's experienced himself. You know, he's coming into a side that's a lot of young players in and out. He's got a connection with them. I think it's good. You know, it's looking at to continue that and carry it on. Obviously, he's got good senior pros as well. Look after themselves a little bit, I guess, with the experience they have. But it's a great bridge, I guess, to take it on to the next step. And I think it's very exciting.
Yeah, two very strong nations, two tough games. As they were, I think Norway were getting better and better. Have been over the last few years. So it's going to be two big games for us. 2 dress rehearsals for the Bosnia game. Being honest, that's what my eyes are on, being outside the camp. And boys I've been speaking to are excited to get involved in it. I know Ian will be raring to go. Get Damien Johnson in as well is great. You know, I've heard massively good things about Damien coaching at Blackburn and stuff. So that's it's all new, it's all fresh, but it still has that continuity that lots of people talked about in appointing Ian.
Everyone talks about the Euros and the stories they had and the travelling around and watching the games and the atmosphere, and that's the one thing as players we didn't really get to experience. We saw the messages, we saw the pictures and that, but we obviously don't get to be in it. So to be in the middle of that, I guess, is a whole new experience and something I would very much look forward to.
And we said it at the time as well. When when we were in the camp and we seen all the pictures and everyone having a great time in that there, but I kind of felt a little bit that we missed out. I know we were at the tournament, we were doing the football thing, we were thingy, but because of all the security around it and that there, we couldn't do what we usually do, and is take a walk out and all the fans are there and things, and you're kind of a bit more involved. And so it'll be, listen, I'm hoping and praying that we get through the Bosnia game and then the next leg and we can go and enjoy it as supporters this time as well.
Coming up now is Northern Ireland's biggest super fan. He absolutely loves it. It's some guy called Dave Elliott.
Back in the League of Nations again, and we know if we do well this time, we're guaranteed a shot at the Eurovision. 1 point? More like 3 points, s'il vous please. Up next, we're going to Romania. I say going to Romania, I don't know if we're allowed to go, because I don't know if you're allowed in the stadium, I don't know if the fans are allowed in the stadium, or the players, I don't know, but even if the players aren't, we could just settle it over FIFA. Either way, I'd back us, Probably for the best though, because Dracula's from there. And I don't know if you've heard this or not, but apparently he's not a very friendly guy, especially if you've got a big ham neck like me. But here, if you ever are in Pennsylvania, make sure you bring a crossbow, some rubber bullets and an onion, because the big man does not like that. There are other famous Romans who are sound though, like Francesca Totti, Kathy Nero and Julian Caesar off ETV. And then we welcome Norway to Belfast. And what's Norway famous for? Cars, apparently. I asked a mate of mine, he goes, if you're ever in Norway, you have to look at the beautiful Fords. I was like, beautiful Fords? Mate, I bought a Fiesta off some fella at the San Mo's roundabout and I packed it in about a week. Stroked. Norway are also famous for trolls, which is what you call those guys that give me grief on Twitter. Why can you be Northern Ireland's biggest fan if you've only supported them for about a year? Yeah, mate, consider yourself blocked. Take that in your Ford and hit the high road, mate. Norway do have good players though. They've got your wee man Martin Odegaard, which is ironic because he's actually about 12. Then there's your man Haaland. To be fair, he's a good striker, but his surname sounds more like a place you take your nephew for a birthday party on Saturday morning. I brought the wee man down to Haaland and he saw a couple of clowns and then played a game of 5-a-side. So there you have it. All you need to know about the upcoming games. Come on, Northern Ireland. And remember, Brian Clough good, Barra Clough better. What's best?
There we have it. Thank you very much to the players for their contributions. Thanks very much to the super fan, Dave Elliott. Thank you very much to local football legend, Keith Cruz. And on that note, Ian, if you're watching, mate, I don't know if you've definitely decided on your backroom staff, but if you've room for another one, I'm sure Cruzy would love to get involved. I'm sure the lads would absolutely love to. We're looking forward to the games now with Norway and Romania. Hopefully we can do it. See you next time. Green White Army.